Hi, welcome. I'm Andrew. I'm the creator of acaseofschizophrenia.com, and if you're on YouTube, this is my channel. I'm very new to this. I'm getting used to the whole creation process of videos or for videos. And I am hoping to be an example of somebody with schizophrenia to the average population. Um, as well as an example of what is potentially possible for somebody with schizophrenia. I am a functioning schizophrenic, not necessarily a high functioning schizophrenic, but that could be due to my own level of intelligence and competence as opposed to having the disease. But anyways, enough about that. I do want to say that I don't intend to talk solely about schizophrenia. I have other aspects to my life. I have other elements and focuses in my life. And there are subjects that are important to me. And over time, I will discuss those things, and hopefully there will be an audience to listen to them. I do appreciate the fact that you're taking the time to listen to somebody who has schizophrenia, who is diagnosed, who has been dealing with it for multiple years, and who for a very long time was highly disabled by the disease, dealing with symptoms all day, every day, voices, intrusive thoughts, intense energetic experiences, pain in the body and mind, and other things that don't really fit neatly into those categories. I made a video that ended up being too long about showering and general hygiene. I'm going to try to take what I said and distill it so that I can articulate it in a short period of time. But basically, for me, showering is a very difficult thing to do. It requires a lot of energy. Showering is no longer energizing in and of itself. It does not feel good oftentimes. It's not relaxing. It, the sense of soaps and shampoos don't stimulate me in a positive way anymore. I've lost emotional connection with scent, and my memory connected with scent has been degraded significantly. Um, Showering can be a pretty hellish experience, as well as general body maintenance. Um, it's not that I don't want to do these things, it's just that a lot of times I can't. And this is something that is common for people with schizophrenia and who go through extreme states. Maybe it's depression or bipolar disorder. Uh, it's probably pretty common with people with dementia who kind of lose sight of reality in their own way. And, that's a generalization, and I don't have actual specific data to back that one up, but I would assume that it is a similar phenomenon, or there is a similar phenomenon there. So, general maintenance and hygiene is difficult. I was able to shave. I have some trimmers, like, a buzzer that I use on my face. Makes it a lot easier to shave. It's not a close shave, but it looks a whole lot better. And sometimes it's important to look better, even if you're not feeling better. But that brings me to the next thing that I wanted to talk about. Part of this video series is going to be a description, a visual and auditory description of myself while putting my worst foot forward. What I mean by that is I'm not going to try to sugarcoat things for the most part. I'm going to try to show myself as I am so that others get an idea of what a person dealing with schizophrenia can go through, how they may appear, how they may sound, what they may be thinking about, how they may be feeling, and to really give a more in-depth picture, literally picture, of the different states of being of somebody who struggles with schizophrenia. I think this is important not only for people who don't have a relationship with somebody who has schizophrenia, um, but also for people who do suffer from the disease, because I think everybody who struggles with schizophrenia should know that it's okay to be who you are and as you are, and it's okay to be accepted as you are. There are those who won't accept you. I'm not going to pretend like everybody's going to accept you full heartedly and, just be a nice person, because there are a lot of people who are not all that nice out there. But that's not what this channel is for. This channel is for nice people. This channel is for friendly people. This channel is for loving people. At least that's what I want it to be. If it turns into a shit show of negativity, I might reconsider what I'm doing, but I don't think that's going to happen. There are many people that I have found who accept me just as I am, no matter how messy I am, no matter how disgusting I am, or look, or feel. A lot of times I may feel disgusting, but other people may say, you seem fine, you seem normal. I know with me, I definitely tend to seem very much brighter when I do feel good. Um, it's obvious. My face lights up, my eyes light up, my smile is brighter, regardless of whether or not I've brushed my teeth. Um, Brushing my teeth is a really hard thing to do. It can be a very painful experience, and no, not just because I have tooth decay, but because my teeth are highly sensitive to stimuli, and I'm just making excuses at this point. It's been really difficult. I used to brush my teeth multiple times every day, and I had a gorgeous white smile. It's something that I very much enjoyed about myself. Since dealing with psychosis and the prodromal stages of schizophrenia, I was effectively in a different state of consciousness for a couple of years prior to the full-blown onset of schizophrenia. That's something I will discuss on a different video, but basically, to distill that, I was unable to brush my teeth because there was this other consciousness, or what seemed like another consciousness, dictating everything to me through feeling that I could and could not do. It was effectively controlling me like a puppet, and it was forcing me to do all sorts of bizarre and abnormal behaviors. My insight at the time was not all that good, and plus I didn't know how to stop it. I didn't think that antipsychotics would have stopped what I was experiencing, because I thought it was a spiritual phenomenon. But that's when my toothbrushing became very difficult, and I would go for sometimes a month or so without brushing my teeth. It amounted to tooth decay and staining, and I'm dealing with the repercussions of that now. It's a point of insecurity for me, and I try not to be too insecure about things. I try not to care about uh, things that are superficial, but at the same time, I think these things are important. They help a person to feel better about themselves. We're very much attached to these physical bodies, and they're very much a part of our own perspectives of self, oftentimes. I view myself as being a being more than a human that is not bound by this body and this mind per se, but is visiting it for a time. My perspective is that because I have had many experiences where I've been detached from my body and my mind, and I've lost connection with my body and my mind. And yet I was still conscious, I was still aware, I was still continuing, I was still able to make choices and create things. Um, And so there is a distinct separation for me between the body, mind, and self. Um, my perspective of self, I don't really feel like Andrew a lot of times. I don't feel like a male a lot of times. I don't feel like a female either. I'm not dealing with, uh, sexual identity issues, but I just feel like a being, a plain and simple, unlabeled being. And I oftentimes don't, or I try not to, um, categorize myself and apply false meanings of self to myself because I don't know what I am and I don't know who I am. Of course, I have a name, I have an age, I have a birth date, I have a place of origin, I have a family, I have friends, I have a past history, but all of these things feel very disconnected from who I am, who I truly am at my essence. And there seem to be some qualities that are part of my essence. One of them is appreciation and love. Another one is peacefulness, joy, bliss, even. I experience subtle amounts of bliss and joy with greater frequency as I continue this healing process. And it is a very deep joy, it's a very deep bliss. Um, it still comes up in the midst of pain and physical turmoil. My body does not feel good. It is a very uncomfortable thing to be present in most of the time. But this emotion of bliss, this emotion of joy, seems to percolate from the very depths of my being, and it is fun to express. Um, I don't know what it's about, but it seems to be my nature, and I like that. I've done a lot of work to basically cut through the crap within myself and all the negativity, and I've been pretty successful at that. And now I'm just trying to get my mind to heal and be put back together in a way that makes sense. To touch upon this identity issue that I struggle with or deal with, I don't really struggle with it. I don't need to be categorized as a human or a male or a female or um, whatever, an old person, a young person, a young man. I don't really care about categorizations like that. I kind of see each and every being as a being, whether they are a fly or mosquito, or a spider, or a dog, or a cat, or a human being, or a chimpanzee. It doesn't matter to me. Um, I recognize and respect life for what it is. It could be a plant, and I appreciate that life force. Um, and I find that to be a very helpful quality to cultivate and to focus upon. Um, yeah, once again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Appreciation is huge. And I think it may be the source of the joy and the bliss that I experience from time to time. But the bliss is getting better, which is great. The joy is becoming more frequent, which is great. And sometimes I just can't help but smile, which is also great. There were 2 years that I could not smile whatsoever. It was so painful to smile that every time a little smile started to turn up on my lips, it would just be shut down by this intense experience of pain and discomfort. It was very physical and very energetic. It was also emotional. There seems to be an energetic or emotional web of trauma and pain in my body. Um, it's likely related to karma, karma being programming, and that programming being emotional and mental, psychological programming that exists as a layer of the physical body that is in an energetic form. So it's kind of like an interlaid energetic body upon the physical body, or maybe the other way around. I don't really know. I've had strange experiences that are spiritual in nature for a long time. I've tried to figure out what's going on. I've tried to understand and work with the systems of the body, the energetic systems, the physical systems, the emotional systems, the mental systems. I've been relatively successful with doing this, and I've figured out quite a lot. At the same time, I'm unwilling to make claims about what I have or have not experienced and seen, because generally speaking, the information that I have gained and understood is not fully clear, and I don't have photographs, I don't have video, I don't have a way of gauging this information, of actually creating readings of this information aside from my own sensory experience, and my senses have gone haywire. So I don't trust a lot of what I experience. It's not to say that I deny it, but I don't really trust it. And I don't trust it in a way that would enable me to make further exploration really possible. Um, just some things to think about. This is the kind of stuff that goes through my head with regular frequency, and it is important to think about. I think search for answers is always important. A search for essential truths, while difficult, is always important. There is one truth that I know, and that is I exist. That's pretty much it. That's the only truth I've figured out about life. I exist. I still don't know if others exist. It used to be a really scary thought, and that's one of those intrusive thoughts that would come to me frequently and scare the crap out of me. What if I'm the only one? What if this whole matrix is, this whole creation is nothing more than an expression of my mind, and all the element parts are acting in accordance with something within myself that I'm supposed to figure out in order to overcome different problems and scenarios to be able to create a better life for myself? Or what if I have subjected myself to suffering unintentionally or intentionally from a different uh, dimension of life at a different time in order to learn, in order to grow, or otherwise in order to try to free myself from bondage? Um, those could be very scary, disconcerting thoughts, and I have had them, and they have been very intrusive in my mind. They often come with fear, but not as much any longer. I have lost fear of pretty much everything. I have worked through fear of pretty much everything that I experienced fear surrounding. It has taken a lot of focus and a lot of practice. Sometimes fear does come up in my body in intense ways, and it can be paralyzing. I am very much detached from that fear when it comes up. I try to engage it to understand it, but this is a process of exploration of the fear, and sometimes it doesn't work. Um, you know, I mean, it's just as easy for me to create a wall or a barrier between my internal self and the fear within my body and say, I don't need to deal with that. Although my body may be paralyzed, not necessarily catatonia, but something similar to it. Um, Anyhow, I'm approaching 20 minutes, and I'm going to have to cut this video in half, most likely. But I just wanted to touch upon a lot of these things, and hopefully you've gained from it. Once again, I'm not here to put my best foot forward. I will try to sometimes, because I think that others should see the potential of somebody with schizophrenia, and just how, I don't know, I personally think I'm a decent person. I like who I am. I like who I've become. I've worked on it. I continue to work on it. But I think people should also see the bad side, the negative side, the hard side. And not going to continue more with this video. But I hope you've gained something. I hope you enjoyed this. Maybe it inspired some thoughts and some thinking for you. Maybe it just gave you a better representation of what a schizophrenic looks like and how they speak and how they act. Cutting this video short. Thank you. Goodbye.